Hi, I'm Faster Eft practitioner Kim Brown. Glad you could join me today. And with us also today is Level 4 Faster EFT practitioner Mary Cassidy, who splits her time between California and Montana. Welcome, Mary.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're welcome. Mary, tell us what got you interested in Faster EFT.
That's a great question. Pain being the basic motivator for change was the same with me. Pain from early childhood experiences that continued to bother me. PTSD was my diagnosis in the past, and I found that symptoms would recur, even though I had tried a lot of different things to address it. And so I actually said a prayer first, and then the next thing I found myself online finding EFT, did a couple sessions of EFT, and then it was taking too long. So I typed in Faster EFT and came upon Robert's site and started doing the videos. And my life's never been the same since, much better.
Very good. So what's been your biggest area of learning throughout this?
Oh my goodness. For learnings, number one is I'm not alone. Other people are looking for answers, and there actually are answers out there where we can self-manage distress. And it just seemed like the same issue, different day, even though I'd work really, really hard, whether it was talk therapy or any of the other modalities that I tried, and they were pressure release valves and served me in the moment. But the abiding change didn't come until I really started addressing my issues with tapping, and that's been my biggest thing. Number one, I'm not alone. Number two was the quick tap process that I learned. The structure of it was almost like an intellectual structure for managing emotional information, and it's elegant. It is just what it says. It's quick tap. So that was in the process of Faster EFT. That quick tap process was just transformative for me, because emotional information can be kind of messy, and when you put another structure around it that's actually you can change on a consistent basis and experience quality, peaceful results after tapping, it was pretty powerful. The next thing that I learned is friendships with Faster EFT. I've found friendships with other practitioners, other people that I've met at seminars that have really changed me, because it goes back to that I'm not alone, but also I've got other people in my life right now who are working on their issues, their problems from the past, and they own it. So having practitioners that are consciously working on a higher model of the world makes all the difference. And sometimes in the world separate from Faster EFT practitioners, you don't find that. And I have several friends that I can just text real quickly and say, this is a trance, right? And whatever it is. And just that act of having somebody that I know on the other end of that text is working on the higher model of the world changes. It changes my neural networks. And I am really super grateful for that. The next learning that I had, which was really, really helpful with managing the process of learning Faster EFT on my issues, was to take the David Stewart mentorship. That changed my practice with myself, and it changed my practice with other people, because I experienced a way to take the art of change questions, but I was able to memorize them more easily. And so I can use it with myself. What do you want to resolve with this issue? What do you want to resolve right now? When was the first time you had it? When was the most recent time? And what beliefs do you have around it? And just tap on it. So that was very pivotal in my own integrating the Faster EFT skill set and knowledge base, and get consistent results. So I didn't get lost or triggered if I was working with somebody I just go right back to the process, and that was very helpful. And so I've had a lot of learnings. I hope that's okay. The next was the NLP information, which is the visual auditory kinesthetic. To have that filter to run through an issue, whether it's my issue or someone else's that I'm working with, the first filter that I've now learned to use is, are they visual, auditory, or kinesthetic? And then I can match. I listen for, if they're using visual terms or whatever terms they're using, and I can match the information that I'm sharing with them with their representational system, and it develops rapport more quickly. And since we only have minutes anyway to work with somebody, whether it's 60 minutes or 120 minutes or 10, it's really helped me to get there quicker. And the way that I practiced that was going online and finding the eye accessing cues, a visual picture, and I just carried it around with me, and I would watch people on TV or where I didn't have to interact, and I could just watch. Were they looking up and to the right or up and to the left? Auditory is straight across. I noticed with my granddaughter, I'd ask her a question and she'd scan the horizon. I knew she was auditory, so that I could connect with her more readily. And it was powerful. It was powerful.
It truly is powerful. And you said we're not alone. We are also not helpless, are we?
No, we're not helpless. And it addresses that learned helplessness that we learn when we're pre-verbal, somewhere between 0 and 7, from all the different areas that we learn it, mom and dad and everyone else. There's an element of learned helplessness, and this really shatters that model. And now shatters it is probably a harsh term, but it breaks it up and disassembles it so that I realize, nope, I'm not helpless here. It's a choice. And another thing that David Stewart would remind us during that mentorship was, do I want to keep this or do I want to let it go? So if I'm in the middle of an unproductive emotion, I can say, well, Mary, you want to keep this or you want to let it go? And I generally want to let it go.
This is quite interesting because you and I did not discuss this. I had no idea you had any connection to David. David Stewart is the person who introduced me to Faster EFT.
Wow.
He's my practitioner who came over here and worked on me with weight loss. That's how I got into Faster EFT. So that's pretty amazing.
It's miraculous to have all these connections and continue to learn together.
So how do you use Faster EFT personally and professionally?
Well, I use it personally every day when something comes up. I try and do self-tapping at least 30 minutes on something that's pressing. I try to go big picture. If there is a long-term issue, I try to address that more and more each day. Try to get it neutralized down to a 0, and then flip and rewrite and re-imprint. On a day-to-day basis with other people, I do everything from street tapping, which is on the airplane or in the airport, or the car salesman. I did it with a car salesperson. She said, what do you do? And I said, let me show you. And I asked her about a fear or a phobia. And 3 tapping rounds while she was standing outside my car saying bye to me, and she couldn't find her fear of snakes. And so I show people more than I tell them. And so I think Robert calls that street tapping, but I've used it in the past in the treatment setting, drug and alcohol treatment setting. I was case manager for 4.5 years. And so I would be able to use that with people as they would come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I've got a migraine, or whether we're working on life skills or something else. I had permission from the agency to be able to use tapping to help people achieve more abiding results in whatever was presenting. So tons of opportunities in the moment, but a lot of mine were very short duration, anything from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And so I became proficient at what I call, and Kristen McLeod and I tap together quite often, and we only had a certain amount of time. We dubbed it the lightning round, and it's a 30-minute tapping session with no story, and it's just driving to the results. And so I actually put that out there as a product, because people only have a certain amount of time, and if they're not into their story, a lightning round is very effective to say, to help them address it and neutralize it, and then experience a positive benefit within themselves in a short time. So I do that, and then I'm doing a class for the recreation department here in Monterey, California, for Tap into the Holidays and an intro to tapping. And I'm looking forward to doing some classes for performance, for sports performance. But where my heart really is, I'd really like to work on PTSD for veterans and people with early childhood sexual education and adverse sexual experiences.
Great. And I noticed on your website, you, along with the lightning round, you have tapping with children, tapping with seniors, tapping with pets. So all of that's available and works, right?
It totally works. The thing that is so amazing to me is we get to do it wherever we are with whoever we are, if there's willingness. And our 100-pound lab at 4th of July and New Year's became a noodle and would hide in the shower and drool uncontrollably and go into a horrible, it looked like a PTSD response. And so I, several years ago, sat down with him while the fireworks were going off and tapped on him. And then as his happy memory, I would just either give him a treat, or I would hug on him and pet him where his favorite pet spots were. And within 20 minutes, he was done and looking out the door when the fireworks were going off. So it works on animals. It's just, and toddlers and Alzheimer patients. My mom's an Alzheimer survivor, and I use it on her as she'll let me to try and access more capacity. And that's been helpful. Like right now, she hasn't been able to do her word search book. She's 90 and pretty advanced with Alzheimer's. And if I tap on her and she just stares at the book and can't find the puzzle, the words in the word search, I last December tapped on her because she stopped doing those word searches, and tapped on her for about 15 minutes off and on. And she had a good 4-month run of doing her word searches again. So it hits those neural networks while they're stuck. And whatever it is, whether it's me or a dog or a person with Alzheimer's, a senior wanting more capacity.
It's beautiful.
I'm grateful.
Yes. So what would you, in closing, like to share with our viewers today and ask them to consider?
I want you to consider that you're not alone and that you're here for a reason, both at this website, but also standing right where you're at on the planet, and you've got a purpose. And if you've got unproductive emotion, try this tool out and stay with it, persevere, and do it in short bursts. If it's too much information, or if you've done a piece list and you're flooded with overwhelm, just make it easy. Just take the top one and say, I'm going to do this 10 minutes a day. And always, always, always have 5 things, happy memories that you can change your mind with, because it's the good, bad collapse that changes every memory. And we've all got to have happy memories, but at least 3 to 5 that you can get to a 10 of really good. And so you can go back and forth between an unproductive emotion and your happy memory, and make it manageable. It doesn't have to be hard, just consistent.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for the work you're doing. You're doing awesome work.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim, for having me here today. I am really blessed with the opportunity.
And I'll have Mary's information at the end of this video. her website and her email address. Get in touch with her if you would like a lightning round or something longer. She's available. And Mary and I would like to thank all of you for watching today. Remember, you are not alone. And no matter what you've experienced in the past, today is a new day. See you next time.